to our weightlifting technique series. In this video, we will talk quickly about how to use the wall squat as a primer for the correct dip and drive in the jerk, and in this case, we'll be using some demonstrations in the power jerk. The dip and drive in any jerk, whether a power or a split jerk, should be identical to the power position executed by an athlete when performing a snatch or a clean. If you don't know what the power position should look like, we have videos on both the snatch and the clean and how to find the correct power position. The only thing that changes is where the barbell is on the athlete's body. So instead of it being in their hands and at their hip or on the upper thigh, the bar will be sitting in the front rack on their shoulders. With the bar in that position, the athlete will perform the shallow quarter squat dip to descend into the power position, which our athletes are going to demonstrate here by using the wall squat. You can get set up on any wall with your toes pointed up against it. If your power position generally has you pointing the toes out, you would do that. And you're going to sit through your hips because you cannot bend your knees any further than your toes will allow when facing up against the wall, with as upright of a torso as humanly possible. And it's helpful to even have the elbows up to simulate the rack position, even though it won't be exactly the same. So we can see the setup in greater detail now. The toes get up against the wall, the toes are pointed out, and that is as far as the knees can go. A common mistake that people make when doing the dip and drive in any jerk is they convey it as a squat. They think that if they squat the weight down and use those same muscles, these strong quad muscles, they'll be able to just drive it up. But that's not the case, because that's not what a jerk is. They'll just get forward and they'll get stuck and be unable to move quickly into the receiving position. So while we do have a hip-centric focus, notice that the hips go pretty much completely straight down, sitting down, with the butt pointing towards the back of the heels. A lot of people, if they think about a hip-centric movement, they tend to just rock the hips back, but that's another great thing the wall does, is that with the elbows up especially, you can't really bend the torso forward to any significant degree. It has to stay upright and vertical, as would be necessary if a barbell was resting on the chest. If you sit the hips back or risk the hips getting away from being directly underneath the barbell, you're going to either get forward or apply the force in the incorrect direction. So it's important that they're as upright and vertical as possible. So those were the wall squats. Those are useful as a primer practicing the dip and drive and doing anywhere from sets of 5 to 10 repetitions. They're not very difficult, just whatever you feel, however many you feel like until the point hits home. And you're going to see the dip and drive is the same. Done in the power jerk, it's shallow, the torso is vertical, the knees don't travel past the toes, which means the lifter is in a balanced position. They're directing all their force vertically into the barbell. They're able to, because they're balanced, they're able to move their feet quickly out to the side, as opposed to being stuck or glued to the floor, as is common when people squat the bar instead of just assuming a shallow power position dip. And then the bar gets to its home, which is behind the ears, in a stable position, and then back in line with the hips once again. So that is the wall squat and how to use it for the dip and drive portion of the jerk, and more specifically the power jerk.